What's up, guys? It's Chief here, and welcome back to another FC26 video. Today, we are going to be reviewing all of the information that we have on changes and new features coming in FC26 with regards to evolutions. We've got some exciting things coming, like goalkeeper evos are finally coming. Those are long overdue. We've got repeatable evolutions, which we're going to see in a second here, and a lot of other features. So let's go ahead and dive into it, starting with the Ultimate Team deep dive video that EA released, where they talk a little bit about these repeatable evolutions.
Evolutions are changing based on your feedback as well. In FC26, some evos will be repeatable, similar to how it works with SBCs and objectives. Cosmetic evos will now also stack, and you'll be able to maintain the look of some evos so you can still boost the player's ratings without losing existing visuals. The Ultimate Edition comes with one extra evo slot, meaning you'll be able to evo 2 players at once from the very beginning of the year. We know these details matter, and
So they give us a little bit of the gist of some of the new features there, but we're going to dive right into the pitch notes because these kind of fully explain what we should expect in FC26 with regards to evolutions. So the first one, yes, goalkeeper evos are coming to FC26. This is about 2 years too late. I don't know why it was so difficult for them to introduce goalkeeper evolutions, but it was. So they're finally here. Very excited about that. Very excited for that first James Trafford Evo that I do in FC26. So that's the first one that people are definitely looking forward to. The second one, which I think is kind of flying under the radar, is repeatable evolutions here. So repeatable evolutions give you more flexibility, with some able to be completed multiple times, similar to select SBCs or objectives. Most will be limited repeatable, meaning they can be completed a set number of times, allowing you to apply them to multiple player items or even use them again on the same player item if eligible. It takes the pressure off making the perfect choice right away and gives you more freedom to shape your squad your way. So I absolutely love this idea of repeatable evolutions. Number one, like they say, it takes the pressure off having to do the perfect Evo every time and waiting to put the right person in. If there's a center back Evo that comes and I have like an Akanji and an Ake and they make it repeatable twice, I could put both of these guys in the Evo. And I'd imagine what this is also going to entail is that evolutions are going to give smaller upgrades this year, which I think is important. Number one, so you could have more evolutions while keeping them repeatable, but also keep the power curve in check, which we'll talk about in a later video. But it seems like they're trying to tone down the upgrades that come, especially early in the year. So having multiple evolutions, but limiting the upgrades, I think is a really, really good idea because it gives people that feeling of customizing their squad without ruining the power curve. So I think this is fantastic. And the other thing they mentioned is it's not just that you'll be able to put multiple players into the same Evo, you could actually run the same player into an Evo multiple times. So an example I saw was, say they release an Evo that all it does is it gives you +3 finishing. I could put Marmouche into that Evo, he gets +3 finishing, and then 2 days later it's repeatable again. I could put him in again, get another +3 finishing, and put him in multiple times and just keep gaining the stat that that Evo gives me. So I think this is really cool. It gives the option too of just more customization and not seeing the same evolutions that we always see. So I'm a big fan of the repeatable Evos. Again, I'll be interested to see how they balance it with the power curve and releasing stuff that gives more upgrades. But then they talk a little bit about the cosmetic stacking and rarity layers here, which they did talk about in the deep dive. So you can now evolve players without changing their item design unless a specific evolution changes the rarity. Evolution status is marked with the new badging that can also be used in squad requirements, making it easier to track and build around evolved players in live events or rush. I love this. So my understanding is they've gotten rid of that green Evo design, and if you Evo a player, they're going to have this little badge here, which I think is pretty cool. Cosmetic upgrades now stack and only override each other when they affect the same type, so your unique looks stay intact across evolutions. I think this is really good because when you add something like that lightning strike animation on the card, or you add like the FC Pro badge, if you evoed that player again in FC 25, they would just lose that cosmetic, which was kind of frustrating. So now with this, you'll be able to stack all those cosmetics that you put on your card and keep whatever, you spent your resources on, which is nice. And then even when an item's rarity changes, animation and badge effects that we just talked about that aren't tied to rarity will carry over, which is very, very cool. So I'm a big, big fan of this. Note that FC26 Ultimate Edition owners start with 2 active Evo slots at launch. And that's the other thing that makes me think they're going to bring even more evolutions, but with smaller upgrades, is the fact that we're going to be able to Evo 2 players at once from the beginning of the game. It feels like they're really going to be pushing Evos heavy while kind of dumbing down the upgrades a little bit, which again, I'm a big, big fan of. Now, the last thing I wanted to jump into in this video is Nate, the Foot Accountant's interview with Richard here, who I believe is somewhere on the development and content team at EA. So let's see what he has to say about Evos in FC26.
Screen, so things got messed up. But one of the things in the deep dive from yesterday about Ultimate Team talked about goalkeeper evolutions, and I think one of our maybe one step deeper questions that we came up with after reading some of that yesterday was, do you know how often, or is there a plan for how often those would maybe be released? Because it's got to be more difficult because you only have one goalkeeper, but you do need multiple teams this year with the gauntlet. So, yeah.
So I know we got roasted watching some people's reaction videos for saying like, "Oh, we'll have details closer to launch." So I can't say like whether they're going to be weekly or bi-weekly, but we know
Sure.
that they're going to be, especially with repeatable evolutions,
Mhm.
the ability for you to level up multiple players using the same Evo will mean that we don't have to have like somebody go in, manually create a goalkeeper evolution, and then 5 days later do it again. We can just have a repeatable goalkeeper Evo
Right.
that's up and that you can continue to, put the goalkeepers you love through them.
Awesome. Okay,
That's an interesting one because when he says that, it makes me think that they already have the idea of, hey, at launch, we're going to have this goalkeeper Evo. Maybe we make it repeatable once every 2 weeks for like a max 82 keeper. It takes them up to 84. And so it's there, it's available for people as the weeks go on, and there's always going to be something there. So that's an interesting one. The way he says it makes me think they've already thought through that there will be a goalkeeper evolution available pretty early on.
cool. Yeah, I'm excited for those because especially with gauntlets, like I've always wanted to evolve Matt Turner because he's kind of like my U.S. men's national team lookalike.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just think he's a cool guy. So like I'm looking forward to maybe evoing somebody who's like lower rated. Do you know, like one of the things in the past we've always asked about and wondered is with goalkeeper evos, will there be reaction boost for those cards? Would that be a part of the stat boost?
So for the stat boots themselves, obviously like play styles and everything is going to be like massively important.
Yeah.
For reactions themselves, I don't want to give you the wrong answer. I'm going to take
Okay.
that away and I will get back to you. I just don't want to say yes and then that not be the case.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
No, I
will
appreciate
say
that.
like on the goalkeeper side of things, I have my like Canadian men's and women's team that I've been evolving all year,
Yeah.
and I just have my goalkeeper at the back, like looking really sad and neglected. And I'm very excited to finally have the full 11.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the first time I watched this through, I thought that was a really weird question, and maybe Nate just knows more about it than me, but why is he specifically asking about reactions being upgraded? Is that because they've mentioned that reactions has been the issue in the past when evolving goal, and that's why we haven't had goalkeeper evos? I don't know why he would ask specifically about reactions and why Richard can't confirm nor deny that reactions will be upgraded. Like in my mind, it's just a stat. And like, yes, obviously there will be evolutions where it will get upgraded. So maybe I'm just missing the mark here and I don't have info, but I thought that was a little bit of like a different question.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things we're excited for too is just adding that last piece of the puzzle for evos for a full 11 to get upgraded and stuff. All right, so
Yeah, it took us a bit, but we're there. Thank
Yeah.
you for being patient-ish with us.
absolutely. I think going forward into the more information from the deep dive yesterday.
So I think that's everything they had on evolutions there. And again, we're gonna get a lot more in the launch update pitch notes. I think at some point in when they were releasing info for FC25, they did tell us there was like a founder evolution. We haven't gotten any info on that yet because usually we get some sort of striker evo right at the beginning with the Ultimate Edition release and it's in the pre-order. But instead of getting that striker evo, we just get the 2 evolution slots that they mentioned right here. So it seems like that may be gone, but I'm excited to see what comes with it. Regardless, sounds like evolutions are going to be getting some nice improvements this year. I'm very excited for. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. But guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.